Good morning, everyone. Jim Laird. Need to adjust my chair from Largo, Florida. It is an absolutely beautiful day here. The fall here is ridiculously awesome. No humidity, cool, breezy, birds, all the things. Went to the beach this morning. It's great. So yesterday we had a really good interview with Christian Thibaudeau. Been a strength and conditioning coach for years and years. Somebody I've followed for years. Somebody who I every time he puts something out, I always take a look at what he has to say, because he always gives the pauses, the pluses and the minuses and of everything, because that's what people don't understand. Like diets, training modalities, they all have their place. They're all tools. They all have pluses and minuses and consequences and outcomes. And so very rarely is there a cut and dry, other than our 5 fundamental habits that everyone really needs to be prioritizing. All these other things, it's like, what's your situation, what's your lifestyle? And so that's where picking the right thing for you. And then certain things only work for short periods of time, and then you have to change it up. Like training programs, that training program you did when you're a beginner is not going to give you the same results, 5 years in, that it did in the beginning. Right. So that's where coaching and nuance and all that stuff comes in. If you're not on our email list, you need to get on our email list. Just go to stillmanwellness.com. There's going to be a pop-up that says the 5 biggest health mistakes from Dr. Stillman. That'll put you on our email list. We are going to start tomorrow. You get 2 bonuses. Tonight, there's going to be email going out. There'll be a sign up on StreamYard. These are not going to be publicly streamed. We're doing the last 2 chapters of testosterone course, and then he's doing another one with Clark, I believe. These are not sales webinars. These are actually webinars for the course. So we're going to reward you for being on the email list, with allowing you to have access to these free of charge. You can come, you can watch. There might be opportunities to ask questions in there if we have time. But you'll be able to watch the webinar. They're not going to be streamed anywhere else. The only other place to get these is if you actually buy one of the courses. So there's 2 tomorrow. There's one with Clark and Dr. Stillman, and there's one about testosterone. I think it's testosterone, EMF, pollutants. I think that's what it's about. But we're filming both of those tomorrow live, and the link will be sent out tonight. And there also, will be other things in that email, but that's the biggie. So every week you're going to get at least one invitation to StreamYard, and you'll basically sign into StreamYard to log into the webinar, and then you'll be able to watch that webinar. And every week you'll get a new webinar. We are also today, the deadline at midnight tonight for our thyroid course with coaching. You can get 10% off by using Stillman. The Stillman special offers page is below. It has all the courses we currently offer, all the coaching courses that we have on deck. And you can use that code to get 10% off. There's 50. You can use the code 50 to get 50% off the courses. Well, how it works is you're going to see all the offerings that we have, and we're going to be adding new offerings. Good morning, Dr. Stillman.
Good morning.
We have all the offerings that we have on the Dr. Stillman special offers page. And for example, if you click on the HTMA course, which we are not offering new enrollments in that, you will get added. You will have a capture page. You'll get added to a list, and then you'll have the opportunity to buy the course at 50% off. When we re-release the coaching course, you will get that money that you paid towards the course discounted from the course with coaching. So it's also a way for us to see how many people are opting into these different offers, so we can basically offer you what you want. We don't want to put something out there. And also, if you have any suggestions about, things that we're offering, or feedback, or, if price point is your sticking point of why you're not getting into some of these coaching programs, let us know. We're going to do everything we can. For example, we created the men's executive coaching program because we couldn't take any more people in the medical. So you can book a call with Eric for that. And the link is below for that as well. And he will tell you all about the coaching program. You get some individual attention with me. You get a group strength and conditioning questionnaire once a week. You get Dr. Stillman and I once a week, and plus you get our course as well. So we have all sorts of options and offers, but get on our email list so you get the link to those 2 webinars that we're doing tomorrow. So the topic for today is your health journey missing this? And I will say I've learned this from myself. Okay. And I've heard a couple other really smart people say this. A lot of people, when they get in a bad place and they have a health issue, they're looking externally. They're looking for hormones or peptides or supplements or whatever. And the thing I've learned that I was missing was the relationship I have with myself. So whenever you get into trouble, whether it's in business or life or whatever, always look at yourself first. You know, like Jesus says, don't look at the speck in someone else's eye when you got a 2x4 sticking out of your own. I've learned the hard way that many times all the issues of sabotage or the things that I were doing wrong was because I did not have a good relationship with myself. And if you don't love yourself and if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you are not going to treat yourself well. So that is something that is super duper important for people to understand, that a lot of times you have to turn and look within before you can solve a lot of these issues.
And one of the things that we'll see, or that I've observed in people, is that, the phrase glutton for punishment comes to mind. And what I've observed is that if people are not, many people will trade in one form of abuse for another. So they're abusing themselves with drugs or alcohol. They trade that in for abusing themselves in the gym.
With exercise,
they're abusing themselves in the gym. They trade that in when they realize they have an exercise addiction for abusing themselves with something like a career. Overworking, working too hard, working too late, over-delivering for inadequate compensation, working for, and this then gets into relationships, because all of these things, right? Where you work out, where you work, who you're in a romantic relationship with, how you relate to your kids, these are relationships. And people will trade out one toxic boss for another toxic boss. They'll trade out one toxic romantic partner for another toxic romantic partner. They will start a new family thinking that things will be different than they were with the old family. And then the kids turn out exactly the same, and they wonder why, and they feel like they can't possibly do anything right. And that's the toughest thing, is to gain that self perspective. One of the things that's fun about coaching people is that you actually get to know them a little bit, and you get to talk to them about these things. And we don't do the work of looking in the mirror for you, because we can't, but we know where to send you to give you the tools so that you can see these things better for yourself. And that's where, we just see therapy, a lot of therapy, particularly talk therapy. Not that it's not good for some people. It doesn't have a place. It has a place, but you'll see it failing people over and over again because it's not getting them to do anything differently. Or you'll see people chasing drugs, surgeries, biohacks, whatever, when what they really need is some kind of psychosomatic medicine, something like yoga, Tai Chi. Jim and I are both big fans of things like EMDR therapy and neurofeedback, which we think pound for pound are far more valuable to people than a lot of other therapeutic options they have for these issues. But this all spills over into the stuff that we deal with on a more fundamental basis, like not going outside, not getting time in nature, not having silence, not relaxing, not eating healthy food. Because no matter what we do, if the problem is someone's relationship with themselves, we are not going to be able to get them out of that if we don't get them to really acknowledge that.
Yeah, and getting people to slow down and have self-awareness. And I remember the first time I kind of took a hard look at myself and I realized that a lot of the struggles I was having was self-inflicted. It sucks. Yeah. It really, really, really sucks, because it's human. It's natural for us to blame others, to like blame other people. That person failed me, or that person didn't do this, or that person didn't do that. But it's almost liberating when you come back and say, look, well, how did I contribute to that? Did I communicate well enough? Was I emotionally available? What habits am I doing that I'm caught up in that is contributing to these things, right? And you can only control you. You can't control other people. And here's the great thing is, once you're in a good place yourself, the chances of you attracting other people that are in a good place go up exponentially. And the chances of you attracting, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, those kind of people, they usually go for people that are victims. They usually go for people that are in a bad place. They don't go for healthy, strong people. So the better relationship you have with yourself, the better relationship you have with your creator or nature or whatever you want to call it, higher power, higher source, the better relationships you're going to have with other people. And people will always, it's human nature to blame everyone else, but you really have to take a hard look at yourself. And the problem with our society, with phones, with all the stuff that's going on, all these things are basically designed to keep you distracted, to keep you from being silent, so that you don't have the ability to sit quietly and realize these things.
So Amy says, agree with you completely. Coaching has been more valuable to me than talk therapy. We really appreciate that. We're really glad to hear that. And we look forward to seeing you again on another coaching call soon.
And let's see, Roderick. Roderick says, hi, Jim. Do you still recommend using a red light device for someone living near the equator? If so, when or what time of the day used to maximum benefits? Well, that would be specific to your individual situation. If I'm living on the equator or even in Florida, I don't really use my red light much because I spend all morning out in the sun, but I don't think there's any harm in doing it for 10 or 15 minutes, especially if you don't have the ability to be naked outside, getting light on places that you normally don't. But if you're on the equator, you're going to get a really strong dose of red light in the evening, in the mornings. So,
well, I think this comes down to, what else is in this context? Because if you live on the equator, but you work inside 12 hours a day,
right,
you're not getting sunlight. So that's where the red infrared lights become very valuable on the equator. Yeah. So if I had somebody at an office job down there, I would recommend it.
Yep. Even sauna if you never go outside, which is crazy. But I would find, if I'm on the equator, I'm finding a way to go outside.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Our modern world is so crazy.
Well, the really funny thing about that is, like, the equatorial countries here in the Western Hemisphere, they all have a siesta in the middle of the day.
Yep.
So go outside.
Yep. Go out and enjoy it.
Yeah. Even if you just get 20 minutes of sun in the middle of the day, I mean, that's a huge dose.
Roderick, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. And like, just like your body gets stuck in a certain pattern, so can your brain, and that's why I'm so big on neurofeedback, EMDR, because these things actually change your brain, and good moving in different ways. These things help heal. They help restructure. They help get your brain in a better place, because at the end of the day, the brain runs it all. And if your brain is addicted to stress, it's going to make you do things in your life that, spin your dials. If that's the only way your brain functions well, your body's going to be craving sugar. It's going to be doing things like people will say all the time, I can't stop doing this. Well, it's because your brain's making you do it.
That's right. And your brain is reaching for the stimulus that's going to make it feel comfortable.
Yep.
And that's I think a lot of people fall into judging themselves for their bad habits without asking, why is my brain stuck in this loop?
Yep.
What about my life is causing me to have these repetitive behaviors that I'm not happy with the outcome of? And then you can really start to make some progress towards breaking those cycles.
Yep. Tell me about, you and Clark are doing a webinar tomorrow night.
Yes.
What's it on?
I got 2 webinars coming up. I've got one this afternoon with Renita Brannon about LifeWave patches and phototherapy. And then Clark and I are doing a webinar tomorrow at 4:00 on copper metabolism and copper toxicity.
Okay.
Which are topics that are really misunderstood in the health and wellness field right now. And we see a lot of people coming in with high copper levels who've been treated by or have taken advice from people who don't understand these dynamics within the human body. So
what time is that webinar this afternoon?
2:30, I believe.
Okay.
It's my Substack post this morning's got all the details on it.
Do you want me to put that link in the YouTube below?
I don't think there's much reason to. The link tree, there's the Substack's right there.
Okay, cool. It's on the Substack. So, but where you're definitely going to get, you need to be on our email list, because you're definitely going to get the 2 webinars tomorrow. We're going to send that out tonight.
What's the webinar on tomorrow, Jim?
We're doing the testosterone one. I think it's EMF and testosterone at 10. And then you got Clark in the afternoon
Yeah. And so for people who haven't heard, what we do on Thursdays is that we have a webinar at 10 o'clock Eastern. Generally speaking, there will be exceptions to this. And in those webinars, Jim and I are going to cover a specific topic. And that topic will then, or that webinar will then be in one of our coaching programs for sale. But if you log on live, you get to watch us recorded live.
Yeah. So it's just a bonus for you being on the list. And these are not sales webinars. Like I know a lot of the webinars we do are selling you a course.
Yeah.
These are actually the course itself. So we're trying to give you guys as much free value. And like I said earlier in the call, please let us know, like, you know, if it's, you know, what we can do to help you. We want to make sure we're putting out courses and content that help you, whether it's price point or, you know, what your hesitation is to get into some of these programs. We really want to make stuff to make ourselves available to help you guys.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And that's why we're changing a lot of things up, because we're trying to find, you know, what it is that people need and want. And so, because we really want to help you, and it doesn't make any sense for us to make a course or a guide that we think is valuable, but we want to make sure that we give you guys what you guys are looking for. So
that's exactly right. Jim, I think that's enough for today. What do you think?
I agree. These shorter ones seem to do a lot better, but check out the interview I did yesterday with Christian Thibaudeau.
Yes.
We cover, you know, fasting, the goods, the bads. We keto, the goods, the bads. We covered childhood development. We covered blue light. We covered circadian rhythm. We cover all sorts of stuff. Let's see. James has got a question for us. Something as simple as getting enough sleep at night can be so difficult for me, but going to bed earlier. Yeah, it is. It's really hard because you end up getting distracted. But, you know, I've really done a better job in the last few nights of getting rid of my screen at 8 and really started winding down. This makes a huge difference. And especially over the time like 6 months, 8 months, a year, if you go from having a 70 sleep score to an 80 or 90 sleep score over a year, that could be the difference between you getting sick or not getting sick, you know.
100%.
So over time, these things compound. And so you've got to do the habits to get to do the difficult things. You know, everybody talks about, oh, training hard. You got to have discipline to train hard. I think it takes more discipline to like go to bed at the right time, to, you know, not be drinking alcohol every night, to, you know, not be, you know, eating junk food constantly. It's not saying you can't indulge in those things sometimes, but making the choice to better your health every day, getting up and going for a walk at sunrise, all these things take enormous amounts of willpower and discipline. Much more so than going to the gym and turning the music up and training hard, in my opinion, because I've done both, you know.
Amen to that.
So have a great day, everyone. Please
take care, everyone.
Follow,
have a great day.
Share, let us know if we can help you out. Take care. Make sure you get outside.